In Jurassic Park, scientists cloned dinosaurs by taking DNA out of mosquitoes that were fossilized in ancient tree sap known as amber. In reality, scientists have gone a step above looking for frozen mosquitoes, and they've actually found a piece of an ancient dinosaur frozen inside of amber. The piece of amber was discovered in 2015 at a Myanmar amber market in China. And since its discovery, scientists from across the world, including China, Canada and the UK, have worked together to try and understand what this piece of amber can tell us about the dinosaur that was frozen inside of it. Now, the seller originally thought that this piece of amber contained only plant material and a little ant frozen inside of it as well. But to the surprise of the researchers, they found that there were actually 9 vertebrae belonging to a tail of a juvenile dinosaur. Now, the type of dinosaur this tail belonged to was called a theropod. And you may be familiar with some theropods because it includes the giant man-eating dinosaurs like the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus. But the theropod we're talking about here would have been very small, so when it was fully grown it would have only been about the size of a chicken. Not quite as dangerous as its bigger relatives. Although this piece of amber was formed around 99 million years ago in the mid-Cretaceous period, it contains a lot of information about soft tissues in dinosaurs, in particular feathers. Now, we've known that some dinosaurs had feathers for a very long time. A key example of this is the Archaeopteryx, which is kind of like a proto-bird, and we've seen lots of lovely fossils of the Archaeopteryx with its feathers imprinted around its fossilized bones. Now, what's exciting about this piece of amber is it's the first example of a theropod having feathers, which can give us an insight as to how feathers actually evolved in the first place. From examining the piece of amber, scientists have found that the feathers kind of followed how we expected feather evolution to go. They've got well-defined barbs and barbels, but not a very strong shaft supporting those two, which we see in modern birds today. What's also interesting about the feathers is that the 3D structure of the feathers is also preserved. So we can compare what the feathers were at the top of the tail to what they were at the bottom of the tail. And what scientists found is that there's a colour difference between the top and the bottom, primarily being the top of the tail is darker than the bottom. If this is true, it could tell us about the dinosaur's habitat, so where the environment it liked to live in. Now, the way it can do this is by telling us about countershading. In a recent study of another dinosaur fossil, scientists at the University of Bristol concluded, based on these tones they saw on the fossilized skin, what kind of environment the dinosaur would like to live in, because it had a darker back and a lighter belly. And if it lived in a forested environment, that could mess around with a predator's depth perception. So if the same holds true for this piece of tail, a little theropod that lost its tail could have also lived in a forested environment. Now, what's also cool is they found some ferrous iron around the interface between the tail of the dinosaur and the amber. Now, what this told researchers is that there was hemoglobin, or blood cells, that carried oxygen around inside of this dinosaur. But unfortunately, no DNA has been recovered from it. So although it's taught us a great deal about how dinosaurs' feathers worked, how feathers evolved, and perhaps even about where this dinosaur lived, we can't clone it like they do in Jurassic Park, which is a bit disappointing, I must say. But nonetheless, it's a very cool story, and hopefully we'll find more samples like this in the future and learn even more about dinosaurs in the far distant past. Perhaps one day we could even find an entire little dinosaur frozen in a piece of amber. How remarkable would that be? Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned a bit about dinosaurs. If you did, leave a like, and thanks for watching.